Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, hello student, today we will continue the module 5 which is on the collection of solid waste. This is one of the very important activity in solid waste management entire system. So, today we will go for primary collection. Now, here you just understand this entire collection we divided in two parts. One is primary collection and other is the secondary collection. Now, here understand we talked about waste generation sources and also we talked about the storage facility, that is dustbin location. Now, the whatever the waste is producing at the generation sources, which will go to the storage facility or at dustbin locations, and followed by after that the bigger vehicle will collect the waste from the dustbin area and which will go to the either the disposal site directly or it will go to the processing site likewise. So, here I think because the both activities are different, normally we consider primary collection as a collection services, and there are different services which today we are going to discuss onto that. And similarly we have different kind of system, collection system based on the different kind of dustbins, whether is a hall container or stationary container, which we will discuss. And also now here you will see that this entire collection is from the source or from the dustbin location to the disposal site considered as a collection. Now, there is no transportation. Now, here transportation will come up when this storage or dustbin location or the secondary collection is up to transfer stations. So, it is possible that because cities are getting bigger and bigger now, it is possible that some cities will have transfer station where amount of waste will get collected at one location and it will go to the disposal site or any treatment facility. Likewise, it is also possible that because now there are different services are available for the collection of waste, house to house collection have been started with the mechanical vehicles. So, it is possible that we need not to require the dustbins and directly from the waste generation site it will go to the transfer stations, and from transfer station it will go to the either processing sites or disposal site. So, in this case this will be considered as a primary collection, and from transportation, because this transportation will mostly onto the outside road or highways, and from that it will transport to the disposal site. So, here normally the bigger size of vehicle which can take around 8 ton, 10 tons or 15 tons of waste in a one route itself, and normally and for but if you do not have transfer station, we have only the simple secondary collection system. So, we have vehicle size, because vehicle size will be the smaller one which can take maybe 1 ton, 2 tons or 3 tons of waste, and has to be travel from the inside city area. So, the size of the vehicle also should be small, and that will go to the either processing site or disposal site. So, today that is why I thought of that for collection, especially if you separate two different ideas like for primary collection and secondary collection, that will be more beneficial. So, this lecture is a primary collection. Now, as I said it, that primary collection is include not only the gathering or collection of waste from the various sources, but also hauling of this waste to the location where the vehicle will get empty or waste will get disposed of. So, you see here the primary collection from the in Chandigarh, segregated waste, the dry waste and wet waste. Similarly, this is another kind of vehicle which is normally used, and could possible that this hauling of waste to the transfer stations, as I said it, to the transfer stations or any treatment facility. It is possible that. So, it is not going to the dustbins area, is not going to the disposal site. It is possible that once the waste from the source, it will go to the transfer station or treatment facility, and followed by it will go to the disposal facility or disposal areas. So, similarly, here you see that this another vehicle, the bigger size of vehicle could possible to collect from the source, and it will go to the transfer station or treatment facility, and finally it will go to the disposal site. From the treatment sites or transfer station, it will go to the finally to the disposal site. So, here unloading of the collection vehicle is also considered collection operation. Okay, these understand, it is not only the collection from the source, also the unloading of these vehicles, the transport from one location to another, that is also including, and unloading also is including into the collection. And this picking of waste or collection of waste is also depend upon the different kind of activity of the location, how much amount of waste is generated and what kind of method we are using. So, that is why what I said is that primary collection also termed as a collection services, which we are going to discuss today, and after that we will talk about collection system, that is for the secondary collection. Okay. Now, there are different kind of collection services, like primary collection is from the source of generation collection. This is another photo from the Indore. Now, here is collected on the source separated collection. So, I was talking about the dry waste, wet waste and domestic or household hazardous waste in different part. Now, suppose I think if there is no house to house collection system, there could be possible that communal waste collection bin, one location is finalized in the different areas. This kind of dustbins is provided by the local corporation, and the household has to be dispose the waste into these locations. And this is another transfer stations, depending upon collection vehicle or depend upon collection vehicle, what kind of vehicle, the distance specially from the treatment site or whatever the distance between the disposal site to the transfer station, waste will go to the transfer stations or disposal site. Now, there are different kind of collection services, and that is also we can discuss based on the different dwellings or apartment level. Because we have discussed the storage and dustbins on different apartment wise, like low rise buildings, high rise buildings, medium rise buildings, what kind of storage, what are the factors affecting those storage locations. So, similarly the collection services also we will see with the based on the different detached apartments. So, first for the low rise detached apartment, normally curb service is very well known. So, where the house owner or residence is responsible for placing the containers to be emptied at the curb on the collection day. So, you see here the local authorities will provide some kind of location they will finalize, and there could be hundreds of different locations in cities where corporation is finding some location and asking the house owners or household people or residents in that particular area to dispose the waste into that particular location. And also they are responsible for returning the empty container, means I think here everything is depend upon the local people or residents in that particular area, because it is a very economical method. Corporation need not to see that how many people are disposing the waste in every day. They will have particular timing, maybe morning 7 o'clock this waste is getting collected. Sometimes it is possible waste is getting collected, sometimes the entire dustbin is getting hauled off. So, based on the different kind of secondary collection system. So, you see here another one where the house owners are responsible to dispose the waste. Now, another is the LA service. This is LA, just by the name you can understand. Now the curb services, the dustbins is located into the main area and especially onto the main roads. So where the bigger vehicle for secondary collection can easily reach to those locations and can collect the waste. But problem in these kind of locations, you see here in the photograph, because people are responsible to, nobody wants to go near to those dustbins and they are just disposing the waste in nearby to that particular container or dustbin. And again one more point into the curb services, corporation need not to find many locations. They can, maybe is possible that cities have around 30 wards. So maybe for one ward could have one location or two locations based on the population, based on the number of house, and wherever the space is available for the local authority, they are finalizing the locations. And but only those locations are they are finalizing onto the main road, so that vehicle can easily can reachable and can collect the waste and put it into the disposal site or treatment facility. But now in the LA service is possible that the smaller size of dustbins they can put it in the different LAs, and from that LAs the bigger size of vehicle can't go, but the small size of vehicle will get collect from this kind of location. So the secondary collection by the small size of vehicle which can easily go to the LA size. Normally this is also similar to the curb area, but now the curb area for number of households are more, but in the LA you can reduce that number and you can put it in the different LAs, these kind of dustbins. You can see here another LA service. Now next is the third one is a set out setback service. Normally we called as a set out from the household and set back to the vehicle, that is set out setback service, or normally we say door to door collection system or house to house collection system. Now here I think this is what is proposed into the Swachh Bharat mission. Most of the cities have started the house to house collection system because you see that these dustbins locations are very problematic, and a lot of pollutions are coming out of that particular location. Nobody wants to visit that kind of location. To avoid those kind of curb problems, it is possible to have door to door collection, so that segregation also can be proposed very easily. So you can see here maybe without segregation also we can have door to door collection system. But is good under Swachh Bharat mission if you able to segregate at household level, and based on that we can collect the waste through door to door services. Now in this case collection crew is responsible for loading or unloading of collection vehicle. The house owner is not responsible for that. Is another one, like in the door to door collection in Surat city. Now under Swachh Bharat mission most of the cities have started the house to house collection system. This is another photograph from Indore. Now you see some of the status by 2016, you see the house to house collection system of 18 state of total 29 states, and you see the waste collection at 82%, which was earlier before house to house collection system or in the curb services, the collection was only the 40% or 50%, that easily we reached up to 82%. And still I think most of the, I think few cities has left out with the house to house collection system. If every state will have house to house collection system or set out setback service, is possible to have more than 95% of waste collection. Now here see the some of the management practice percentage of 59 cities of India. You can see house to house collection system is around more than 45 cities out of 59 cities is have the house to house collection system. Now another service is called set out service. This is not well known in India. The idea is similar to the set out setbacks service, only here the difference is only the house owner is responsible for the returning the container to their storage location. But normally in India, I think those such kind of services are not there. Here actually the full container will collected by the crew member, corporation crew member, and that empty container has to be returned to the household location by the house owner. That is the only difference. But in the curb service, both the responsibility is of house owner. That is the only difference between the both the services. And one is the backyard services. This is also is not well known in India, because now the lot of apartments are coming up, single buildings or single home is difficult to find, and difficult to find the backyard roads or backside some road are there. So, you are putting the dustbins in the backside of your house, and there the small road is there where waste is getting collected, not onto the front of your house by the bigger vehicles, because that will create a lot of traffic issue, and nobody likes to have solid waste collection vehicle in front of your house. So, in that case we can have backyard services, but it is well known in the European and American countries, but in India also few locations is possible. These services also, one more idea is that if any city is thinking that they will have set out setback service, house to house collection is not possible in every city, every location of the city. It is because in that case, especially in the set out setback service, the house owner is also has to be dispose the waste, or some crew member will come to your house and collect the waste. Maybe some of the people do not like somebody is visiting their house and collecting the waste. We can't have the door to door collection system in that case. So, it is possible that in any city and different location, some locations we can have door to door collection system, some location could have curb services, and likewise we can say we can have the different kind of services in the same city, because some of the location like in the slum area or LIGs area, very difficult to find some recyclable matter. So, in that case the segregation also sometimes will be very difficult. So, in that case we can have the curb service and collect the waste from those areas. But if you go to the other area where people are easily segregating the waste, and lot of recyclable matters or compostable matter we are getting it. So, in that case we can have the house to house collection system in those areas. That was for the low rise buildings, low rise detached apartment. Now, for low and medium rise apartments is a common collection service is a curbside only, medium rise building. Now, here maintenance staff of these apartments are responsible for transportation of waste to the storage location, from the storage location to the curb, that is managed by the maintenance staff. You can see here one of the photograph, this lady is a maintenance staff transporting the waste from the storage container to the collection crew, who are manually unloading the waste into the vehicle. So, this is for the, I think now India also is coming with lot of apartments. So, these apartments they have to have some kind of maintenance staff, maybe the security itself they can help for the collection of the waste from the apartment area to the or to transport the waste from to the location to the collection vehicle. Here in the large size storage container, mechanically emptied is a very common in that case, because apartment will have number of households together. So, that waste generation also will be large. So, it is good to have the larger size container can be used in this kind of scheme. See, is a mechanical unloading of containers is possible. In high rise apartment, also large storage containers commonly used. These also curb service is very common, and normally it is the mechanically that waste is getting emptied into the collection vehicle. can see here. So, mechanically unloading of waste into the vehicle. Now, there are different kind of vehicles we are using for primary collection. You can see is a one hand cart with the bins, tricycle. This is a well known tricycle rickshaw. There are different kind of tricycle rickshaw, and here in rickshaw itself we can have the different parts where dry waste, wet waste could be collected separately. Now, is a tricycle because tricycle with hydraulic tipping container. Now, in that case unloading of waste from the tricycle rickshaw is very easy onto the dustbins area, but in that case the unloading of waste itself is somewhat difficult because that vehicle do not have tipping facility. So, the time requirement for unloading of waste itself is a large. And now, under Swachh Bharat mission, number of cities have started with the mini truck with hydraulic container. We normally called as a auto tippers could possible. Now, in that case, if any cities have this kind of auto tippers, need not to dispose into the dustbins area. These kind of vehicle can directly reach to the transfer station, or if not transfer station, directly can reach to the treatment facility. Now, the segregated waste is collected by these auto tippers, will directly go to the treatment facility, and from treatment facility whatever is not recyclable or compostable, which will go to the disposal site with the secondary collection facilities. And also is not possible to have such kind of facility in the entire city area. So, some of the locations where segregation is very easy, lot of recyclable matter or compostable matters we are getting and easy segregation is very easy. In that case we can have this kind of vehicles, mechanical vehicle and can directly go to the treatment facility. But I think obviously the fuel cost is very high here, vehicle maintenance will be here. So, this kind of method will be somewhat costly method. But I think say entire city could have different kind of collection system, how even for house to house collection system also different kind of vehicles we can use in the particular city. Now, I think we will compare some of the different considerations to compare these services, these 5 services. So, the first consideration is required house owner cooperation. So, here I separated this curve in 2 different types. One curve is a manual where waste is manually getting collected into the secondary vehicle, and other is the curve locations where mechanically waste is getting unloading into the collection vehicle. LA service, set out, setback service, set out and backyard service. Now, here the first consideration to carry full container, to carry empty container, both the cases is required. House owner cooperation is required. They have, because house owner is responsible to dispose the waste into those locations. LA also, now it's I put it is a optional one, but I think based on the different city, based on the different country, we can have optional or required house owner cooperations. Now, here I put it set out, setback, household cooperation, I put it no. You can say that the crew member is visiting your house and collecting the waste, and in that case house owner cooperation is required. This I can say no, because it is possible that the house owners are putting the waste, or they know that the timing of that particular collection person is visiting to their particular area or particular house. So, what they can do, whatever waste they had been segregated, that dustbins, the smaller dustbins, household dustbins, they can put it in front of their door, and the collection crew will collect the waste and empty the waste into the collection vehicle, and that empty dustbins they will put it again in the same location is possible. That is why the house owner cooperations I said it is not required, but I think if the house owners are not able to put the dustbins outside their house. So, there in that case their cooperations also is required. So, here house owners are carrying full and empty container, and in that case required in the curb manual the house owner cooperations are required. So, here the mechanical services, mechanical unloading of the waste is optional in LA and not required in set out setback service, but at least you are seeing some house owners are disposing the waste. I won't say is a responsibility of them, but I think we can say yes in that case in house to house collection system. So, this required set out only for the carrying empty container. So, I put it here yes, set out, and not required in the backyard service. There is no responsibility of them. So, this is another consideration that required scheduled service for house owner cooperation. I put it yes and put it in the red color here. Scheduling, even in the set out also I put it yes, because especially in the curb area, if there is a scheduling for the unloading of waste into that particular location, if the local people know that at what time the vehicle will come to that location, so they can dispose the waste before that particular time, so that we can avoid the unnecessary things into that particular location. So, it is good to have the scheduling into the curb services, and even set out service also scheduling is very important, because as I said it that if people are not ready to put the dustbins in front of their door, so that if you give the particular scheduling to them, so in that case also will be required particular scheduling. Next is the poor aesthetically, could be possible of spillage and litter problem, because obviously the biological matter are there, so obviously that will get degrade and will get littering problem in, or leachate will get produced. So, this is very high, aesthetically is very poor. Mechanically I said it moderate one, because your collection is not manual, mechanically is collected. So, you won't require lot of manpowers, and you will find only 1 or 2 crew members are able to unload the waste from to those locations, and especially set out setback is very low, containers are not visible in that case. You will see here high curbside spillage, because this is a entire responsibility for the house owners, and house owners, you know that nobody wants to go near to that location and dispose the waste into such kind of dustbin. These kind of dustbins are mechanically, or we can say haul containers, directly these containers are getting hauled off into the collection vehicle. This is a stationary kind of locations. So, you see this kind of moderately LA spillage. Now, you see here house to house collection system, there is no spillage. That is why under Swachh Bharat mission it was proposed that we should have the house to house collection system, collection services into the most of the city area. This is another in the spillage into the set out service, and there is no spillage in the backyard area. Now, another consideration, attractive to the scavengers. This is highly attractive to the scavengers and very prone to upset, but here I put it no, because it is a mechanically, so upset won't be there, but it is highly attractive to the scavengers. In this case scavengers could be animals, could be rag pickers also is possible, but I think in LA service is highest, because a small quantity of waste, easy to get recyclable matter out of that, and India kind of country where most of the recycling materials are collecting by the rag pickers. So, it is possible to attract by those rack pickers to the such locations, but in set out setback service there won't be any scavenging in that kind of practices. So, here curbside scavengers, you see that, you see here scavenging. No scavenger problem in set out setback, set out or backyard service. That's why it's good to have house to house collection system or set out setback service. Another is a number of person in crew. This is also very important because ultimately we have to think about economy also. So, in the curb service will be required the less crew number compared to the set out setback service. This is the another issue about set out setback service. You will be required large number of crew members into set out setback service, because in that case crew member has to visit each household. So, obviously you will be required more number of crew members. You will see here 1, 2, 3 collection crew in the curb service, in LA service, but obviously you will be required more collection crew in the set out setback service. This is in the set out service, this is also another set out service. Now, crew time, obviously crew time because there is no crew is visiting to their house, so the crew time will be low in the curb services, but in the set out setback service very high. The timing also required more for the crew members. Carrying injury rate due to lifting or carrying. So, curb service is low, again injury case, but here is possible because crew member has to touch the waste and is possible, and also has to run the tricycle, rickshaw or any mechanical vehicle. So, injury also can be possible in that case. Trespassing complaints will be very low here. I think we will have the complaints only for the secondary collection. Primary collection, there won't be any primary collection because house owners are responsible, they won't complain for that. But what they will ask, the complaints will be the waste what has been disposed by the house owners has to be collect regularly. That is what they are asking, and sometimes they are pushing to collect 2 times in a day, 3 times on a day, because there is no timeline they are managing, there is no scheduling they are managing. So, that is what the complaints could be possible, but here the very high huge trespassing complaint could be possible in through set out setback services, because it is possible that sometimes crew members are forget to go that particular households, is possible that, or the quantity is more from the household and crew member is not able to collect that kind of waste, and possible that segregation collection is compulsory, but that particular household have not been segregated. That kind of complaints also will come up into the house to house collection system. So, in that case, if you go for set out setback service, especially you required lot of awareness. So, before starting the house to house collection system or set out setback services, obviously you need to run lot of awareness schemes. These awareness schemes could be start into the school, temples or different local areas, and to ask the some local people to help for the aware the people, especially for not only for the waste collection, but also for segregation is very important to have proper awareness. This awareness could be possible onto the on television also could be possible, such kind of awareness. Special considerations only for the mechanical, you require the standardized vehicle is required, because it is a mechanical system. So, obviously will be required the special kind of mechanical system, not only the standardized container, or dustbin, also the standardized vehicle will be required. But in that case, set out set back, I think we do not require any standardization. We can design based on the available vehicle facilities or container facilities. And last is the cost due to size and time required. You see here is low, is highly economical, but set out set back is very costly unit, is based on the size and time requirement. That is why in the older days we used to have the curb services for the waste collection from the household area. That was very popular in India, but you see that you saw a lot of photographs what kind of issues are coming into the, or what kind of scavengings or littering issues into the curb services. To avoid that, we started the set out set back service, but is very costly process. So for that we need some kind of money from the house owners also, because obviously is a services, and services means I think we have to pay for the service. So under Swachh Bharat mission, the if any city or particular area have started the house to house collection system, it has been asked to the house owners to pay rupees 30 to rupees 200 rupees based on the different city, class 1, class 2 cities, different fees have been proposed starting from the 30 rupees to the 200 250 rupees in Delhi kind of cities. That is a per month payment is required, or fees is required for the set out set back service. Otherwise because we have to pay for the crew member, we will be required a lot of money for the vehicle management. So that money has to be come up from the house owners only, or otherwise it is possible that the waste is getting collected segregated way and directly is reaching to the treatment facility. So treatment means the dry waste is getting recycled, from that we are getting some kind of money, and biological waste is able to produce some kind of compost or biogas which are sellable. So from that the money has to be come up for the set out set back service. So before just finishing that, you just understand that there are different services in India, and different cities have different kind of collection have been planned under Swachh Bharat mission. Again and again I am saying that the entire city cannot be a house to house collection services, is not possible. Is plan it in such a way that some of the locations, or maybe most of the locations where road conditions are very good, house owners are well aware for segregation. So why not to provide set out set back service on segregated waste collection services? Plan it, and some areas maybe 10%, 20% of that particular city will have still curb services could be planned. But that also, if you make it the particular scheduling and we can reduce the spillage or scavenging, that kind of method also is able to run in the good way. So thank you for that, and next lecture will once the waste is reached to the dustbin, we will go to the secondary collection. From the dustbin, now it will go to the treatment facility, transfer stations or disposal site. That we will discuss into the next class. Thank you.